GURPS Ultra-Tech is unfortunately an infamous GURPS book. Personally, I believe that some of its problems are blown out of proportion, but I admit that it does have a lot of problems. I really like the variety of different weapon types in GURPS Ultra-Tech. It has such classics as railguns, laser guns, blasters, vortex ring projectors. Wait, what even are vortex ring projectors? Vortex ring projectors, sometimes abbreviated as VRPs, fire smoke rings that can deliver a gas at range. Apparently, they are based on an actual experimental weapon of the US Army that didn't really make it out of the experimental phase. VRPs deal very minor linked crushing damage with the double knockback modifier, but you won't really be using VRPs to deal damage. The ring deals damage upon direct impact and then disperses into a cloud of gas, but on a glancing hit it bounces off. You can exploit this ricochet effect to fire around corners, if you know where the target is, of course. Each bounce gives -2 to hit and -10% to range per bounce. For example, a gun with range 15 could bounce 3 times at -6, but this would limit the total path length to 10 yards. You should keep in mind that there are at least 4 other rules for ricochet shots that have differences, so you might want to adjust these rules if you are not satisfied with them. Also, they are not affected by light winds. What light means here is not specified. So let's take a look at the weapons table. Here we have 3 vortex ring projectors: the Vortex pistol, the underbarrel Vortex projector, and the backpack Vortex projector. Even the largest one of these 3 guns has a very short range, only 30 yards. The Vortex pistol costs only $100, which is dirt cheap at TL9 and higher. The backpack Vortex ring projector produces a cloud with a 2-yard radius, but the others only cover a single hex. There are also a couple of your typical GURPS Ultra-Tech problems here. First, the underbarrel Vortex projector weighs 5 pounds, which is a lot, but it does not affect the strength requirement of the gun it is attached to. I would increase it by at least 1. Second, the same underbarrel Vortex projector has a range of 20/40, while none of the other ones have a half damage range. If we check the progression, it is safe to assume that range for this gun was supposed to be just 20 yards, not 20/40. The main purpose for Vortex ring projectors is, of course, delivering a gas payload. Let's compare them to other alternatives. When comparing weapons and armor in GURPS Ultra-Tech, you have to pay attention to the license class. It is very important. Here we notice something. Vortex ring projectors are LC4 weapons, which means that they are available to civilians without any license, even under the strictest regimes. The only LC4 alternatives that can deliver gas payloads are the Tanglers. If we compare the 2 weapon classes, then we will see that the VRPs have worse range, but are cheaper, slightly lighter, have a lower strength requirement, and can be reloaded faster. You should also remember that you cannot bounce Tanglers around the corners, and that you have to buy a warhead in addition to the gas payload. However, Vortex ring projectors have another downside. They use the liquid projector sprayer skill, and there is no default between the liquid projector and gun's skills. I should also know that while VRPs are TL9 weapons, they do not become obsolete on higher TLs, as no other alternatives appear there, at least for license class 4. Now let's see what you can actually load the VRP with. They can fire almost any gas. It is not said anywhere, but I would allow them to simply fire air without delivering any payload, as something of an unlimited ammo gun. Other gases are suggested: carbon dioxide to choke internal combustion engines, halon to extinguish fire, and even explosive vapors. No stats and no costs are given. Now here's an interesting one. VRPs use gas, but there is no information on how many doses does each shot require. However, biochemical aerosol warhead gives some values of gas doses per yard of area radius. Let's use these. Thus, for a small ring that must hit the face, each shot equals to 1 dose. A 1 yard radius shot equals to 3 doses, and a 2 yard radius shot equals to 10 doses. GURPS Ultra-Tech describes various gases on pages 159 and 160. Most of them have low LC. They won't be available to civilians, so firing nerve gas might be troublesome. And if you are trying to kill the target, why not simply use bullets instead? However, there are still some interesting options. For example, smoke. Ultra-Tech has 5 types of smoke: normal smoke, hot smoke, prism smoke, electromagnetic smoke, and radiant prism smoke. They are said to be TL9 and TL10 inventions, but GURPS High-Tech says that some of these smoke payloads have been available since the 90s and even 80s. Inconsistency strikes again. But in any case, smoke is very useful in Ultra-Tech combat, as it heavily penalizes vision and some kinds of smoke in completely no-cell lasers. Not getting hit in high TL combat is the most important thing, so I believe that VRPs are defensive weapons. Starting from TL10, you can also fire clouds of nanobots using Vortex ring projectors. If you are not satisfied with the assortment of nano weapons in GURPS Ultra-Tech, you could also check out GURPS Biotech for some extra examples. Biotech has many beneficial nano drugs that can be delivered to your allies via a Vortex ring. You wouldn't fire a grenade launcher at your friend, but a Vortex ring is likely to get blocked by even the weakest armor, so feel free to buff your allies with these guns. I also created 3 super science gases in one of my old blog posts. I'll link it in the description. Cryomist can freeze living targets or create sheets of ice on the ground. Gravigas deals more significant crushing damage. Thermobaric gas is an example of an explosive gas that is merely mentioned in GURPS Ultra-Tech. The same post also has a Vortex ring projector design system that will let you create customized VRPs for your setting. And that's it. I understand that VRPs are incredibly situational, but I still believe that they are a bit underappreciated. Or maybe that's just because I think that they are cool. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.